Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. I'm your host, Mike Smith, going solo today. Dan is on assignment. He's at an event up in Pickaway County this morning, and we'll probably have something to tell you about concerning that later this weekend. We talked a little bit about what's going on up there today. It is at Canal Park. Right at this hour, they're doing an open house and a ribbon cutting for the new deck that they've built there at the Canal Park, as well as a new playground. It's kind of what you'd call, I guess, a primitive playground. They don't have all the plastic slides and all that kind of stuff that you'd see in a lot of the parks around our area, playground, municipal parks. This is more of a, I don't know, maybe something that they would have probably done back in the old days, because that canal goes back to the 1840s. But that's where Dan is today, and again, he'll have something loaded for that, probably even to talk about on Monday's show. Good to have you with us on this Friday, June the 2nd of 2023. Here's what the weather looks like, not only today, but through the weekend. Appears to be a dry one. I think I heard some of the meteorologists say there's a slight chance of a pop-up shower here and there, but for the most part, we're looking at sunny and hot today through the weekend, with highs each day around 90 or just a little bit above. I think we saw some areas that were up around 92 yesterday. So warm one out there. A lot to tell you about in our topics, and a ton of stuff in high school sports, including Baseball All-Ohio. All that coming up on the Friday edition of Litter Media Live. I want to tell you about our great sponsors that join us each day for our 11 o'clock program, and many of our website stories that you'll see at littermedia.com, and among them, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Your trusted comfort advisor for more than 4 decades, not only in the Scioto Valley, but they've spread their wings. They're all over the southern part of Ohio and up into central Ohio. If you have a need for heating, cooling, or plumbing work, give Accurate a call. And for those cleanup projects in and around the area, give Carl a call at Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Free estimates, 253-8389. They'll bring the big orange dumpster out to get you started on whatever it is that you need to get cleaned up in your area. Scioto Valley Dumpsters.
At Country Clipper, pride runs deep. We take pride in knowing our mowers help create a space for families to make memories. That our features transform mowing into an enjoyable experience. Most importantly, we take pride in knowing the decision to purchase a Country Clipper will be one you can be proud of for years to come. Country Clipper zero-turn mowers.
Time to jump into the news. This is what our website looks like on any given day, littermedia.com. Get you caught up on everything that's happening in and around our area. Well, the final installment of announcements to be made concerning the Ross County Music Fest over Labor Day weekend, that came out this morning on their website, or actually on their social media page, Facebook. Dustin Lynch will be the headline act on Saturday, September 2nd at the Ross County Fairgrounds. So one of the top national acts right there, Dustin Lynch at the Ross County Music Fest. Something coming up here in the near future. We want to let you know about the Pickaway County's Second Sunday. That'll be held at the Deer Creek Beach Park on June the 11th from 5 to 8 p.m. It'll be featuring live music from Acoustic Horizon. Something that we were telling you about yesterday that's also on June the 11th, but in Chillicothe. It's the Poland Park activity put on by First Wesleyan Church. They've been doing this for several years. It's open to the entire Poland Park area. That will run from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. that day. And also that day at 2 o'clock at the Chillicothe First Presbyterian Church, it is the Renaissance Singers. Again, that gets underway at 2 o'clock. Something kind of neat that the Pickaway County Park District will be teaming up with Ross Pickaway Highland Fayette Solid Waste Management District for a composting program, followed by a hands-on activity that the whole family can enjoy. This will be coming up a week from today, Friday, June the 9th, between 10:30 and 11:30, and that will be taking place at the Canal Park, where some of that ribbon cutting and open house activities are going on today. Also back to Chillicothe, the Chillicothe Trolley this month will be offering 2 new tours. First Capital Trolley Tours highlight points of interest around the city, and an Underground Railroad historical tour led by Beverly Gray. You must call to reserve your spot for the guided tour, and we anticipate both tours will fill up quick. So the Underground Railroad tours will be 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. on both June the 10th, that's a Saturday, and Saturday, June the 17th, with the tours departing from and returning to the transit hub at 575 East 7th Street in Chillicothe. Bev is a renowned national expert on the Underground Railroad. We've been holding on to this for actually a couple of weeks. We wanted to get it out to you a little bit closer to the event. Liberty Township Fire and Rescue having a car show coming up on June the 10th. That's here in Ross County, down in Londonderry. That'll be from 11 until 3 that day. Something that came out yesterday from the Ohio Department of Transportation. You thought it might have been something ODNR would have put out, but kind of an interesting little tip. About 75% of all flowering plant species need animal pollinators for reproduction. As a result, pollinators contribute to the ecosystem health and a sustainable food supply. Whether you knew it or not, this is National Pollinator Month. So thank those little birds and bees out there and so forth that help us with the foods that we eat. Road report for today over in Vinton County, a resurfacing project taking place on State Route 56 between Big Pine Road and State Route 664. The traffic is being maintained with the use of flaggers, but just take note that there will be some delays with that paving project over there in Vinton County through actually probably the next few weeks in that particular area. One other note we wanted to pass along to you, we talked about this, I think, earlier, much earlier in the week. Downtown Chillicothe's Tiffany Baldwin did share some details about their Brew Fest. That's coming up on North Paint Street. That'll be tomorrow. VIP early access is at 1:30 with all access beginning at 3 with the event wrapping up at 7. Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. Search Brewfest. We also told you about an upcoming Brewfest that's taking place in Lancaster. You can go back to yesterday's show and get more details about that. Those are the topic headlines for today. And when we come back, we'll be taking a look at what's happening. And I'm telling you, a bunch of sports and some great sports stories to tell you about. All ahead on Letter Media Live.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a 6-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
At Rathkamp Financial, we provide wealth management services that may ease clients' fears of financial loss and help them retire comfortably. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Let's jump into a very busy day in high school sports, and it all starts out with something that came out earlier this morning, the All-Ohio baseball team, which has a number of area athletes on those squads. Here's Divisions 1 and 2 posted there. Young man Isaac Cooperrider out of Lancaster among the group. A young man from Sheridan, Tate DeBoard of Circleville. Also Tanner Leemaster of Washington Courthouse. Jace Hurd of Waverly. Keegan Snyder, and also Micah Geisey out of Uniota. We also have the Division 3 teams listed there, a lot of them out of Scioto County, as you can see, along with Landon Jarrell of Zane Trace. And there's the Division 4 team, White Oak, who was ranked number 2 in the state most of the year. They have a slew of those players on that squad. So congratulations to those All-Ohio baseball players, and congratulations to the Washington Blue Lions. They advanced to the Elite Eight later this afternoon against Cambridge with a win yesterday over Bloom Carroll. Also a big day for the Lady Pirates from Wheelersburg in the state semifinals, handily over South Range by a score of 6-1. We have a story up on our website at littermedia.com. You can read all about the details of that game yesterday. They won't play until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at Akron for the state championship, and they'll be going up against Indian Lake. Back to baseball, you see Cambridge advanced to play Washington later today. They were a winner over New Philadelphia. Wheelersburg baseball, they beat Valley. It was Harrison Central over Eastern Brown, so Harrison Central will be taking on Wheelersburg today. South Webster had a rough way to go yesterday, losing to number 1 ranked Berlin Highland by a score of 13-1. White Oak was a winner, so they'll be taking on Berlin Highland today. And Bern Union saw their season come to a close yesterday, losing to Russia. That was scoreless going into the 8th inning, and Russia came up with 4 runs in the top of the 8th to win it. The State Track and Field Championships at OSU's Jesse Owens Track gets underway today. We had more than 2 dozen athletes, actually probably even more than that. Actually, it might have been 3 or 4 dozen in our coverage area that stretches out over several counties. That meet is going on both today and tomorrow. We'll have updates on that on our website story for the state track and field meet tonight when those results are complete, as well as the finals tomorrow. Hey, the Paints get a victory last night in their season home opener. They beat Champion City by a score of 5-2. The news not so good for the Redlegs. They were tied 2-2 going into the bottom of the 8th, and Boston scored 6 times to end up winning that one by a score of 8-2. Reds are back home tonight. The Guardians opening a series yesterday evening with the Minnesota Twins, and they fall victim in that ball game by a score of 7-6. The Guardians on the short end of the stick in that one last night. So that is a very busy day in the world of sports. And again, with all of the action that's taking place in high school tournament baseball today involving the area teams we told you about a little bit earlier, just follow along on our Litter Twitter page, and we'll keep you up to date on all that. When we come back, we'll wrap up with this date in history going back to 1774 on Litter Media Live.
If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just
it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra. Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
When ensuring what's important to you, Andy Tomlinson and his associates are there when you need them the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit TomlinsonINS.com to learn more.
All right, as we close out on our daily program, we always give you a little history lesson, this date in history. We're going to take you back to 1774. The British Parliament renews the Quartering Act. Now, the Quartering Act, in conjunction with the Massachusetts Government Act, the Administration of Justice Act, and the Boston Port Act, were known as the Coercive Acts. Now, news of 342 chests of tea dumped into Boston Harbor on December the 16th of 1773 in what was dubbed the Boston Tea Party reached Britain more than a month later. It was in January of 1774 before they found out. Disgusted by the colonist action against private property, the British Parliament quickly decided upon the Coercive Acts as a means of reasserting British control over the colonies and punishing Boston. A lot of times this led to, as you see in this artistic rendering, British soldiers just breaking into people's house without any kind of warrant and so forth. That's why that warrant thing is always in the United States Constitution. You just can't barge into somebody's house because of what some of our pre-country freedoms that we didn't have so much under British rule were taking place. But that all was put back into place in British Parliament in 1774, which was just one more step closer to starting the Revolutionary War. And if you have not watched our program on a regular basis, every Tuesday we get a Revolutionary War Minute, which we'll be getting for the next couple of years leading up to the start of the Revolutionary War, compliments of the Nathaniel Massey chapter of the Daughters of Revolution as we kind of inch our way closer. Although this was kind of a Revolutionary War Minute, it was something that actually happened on this date back in 1774. That's going to wrap things up. Actually, what's been a shortened week for us since Monday was a holiday. I know that's kind of thrown everybody off. A lot of people think, is this Thursday? No, it's actually Friday. So a lot, again, happening tonight, tomorrow, because of the high school baseball, softball tournaments, the state track meet this weekend. Again, keep following our Litter Media Twitter site, better known as Litter Twitter, as well as our website story at littermedia.com as we update that throughout the course of the evening and into tomorrow. And if you joined us late this morning, the All-Ohio baseball team came out this morning. That's already loaded to our website at littermedia.com. Again, Dan on assignment up in Pickaway County this morning. I'll be heading out to an assignment at the Pump House at noon. We'll have some features coming up on all of these things next week that you can get an idea of where Dan and I are running around to today. But until that time, when we get back together, good Lord willing, on Monday, have a great weekend, everybody. It's going to be a hot one. Stay cool out there and stay hydrated. For Dan Ramey, this is Mike Smith saying have a great weekend from all of us at Litter Media Live.